Welcome to the Kelly Counts Macros podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Mosdy, and today this episode comes from something that everyone I think has struggled with. Do you ever find yourself wanting the Crumbl cookie, the pizza, the wine, the chips, and then find that you can't stop at just one? You want it all, you crave it all, you want more, and you find yourself spiraling out of control only to then feel guilty and constantly have that I will start over on Monday mentality. This new mentality that works like gangbusters is brought to you by my husband's line that he told me one time a few years back about my purchases. He said to me, Kelly, you can have it all, just not all at once. He doesn't often like to tell me no, or anyone for that matter. So this line was slightly out of character for him, but so realistic. And I often share it with my clients because it is true with the way that I coach. No food or drink is off limits. You can have it all. A new podcast episode drops every Monday, so please be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss a single one. I'm excited to share that the $10 coaching week, Fall into Fat Loss, is open. It starts September 8th at 7 p.m. with a kickoff call. So if you are interested in a custom roadmap to decrease your weight and body fat for $10, the link will be in the show notes, or head on over to my free Facebook community group. It is Kelly Counts Macros, counts with a K, to register so that you can get your fall plan into place. Fall is the perfect time for structure and a plan as school is back in session and the summer festivities are winding down. So today we will be discussing how you can have it all, just not all at once. I will give you my easiest ways to fit wine, chocolate, chips, and all the desserts into your plan. This week inside the Kelly Counts Macros Clubhouse membership, we made the zuppa toscana in the crock pot. It was on the meal plan this week. All the Clubhouse members love the recipes. This recipe is beyond easy. It's light, it's healthy, but yet full of flavor. It's hearty, and you just want that comfort food. It's comforting without sacrificing the taste, and it's super simple for meal prep. Right now, my Clubhouse members are using my click and make recipes so that the yummy recipes shoot right into the My Macros Plus app so that they're easy to make, easy to track, always family friendly. Kids are begging for more, easy meal prep, and there's leftovers for another meal. So once again, those recipes are clickable. You make the recipe, decide on your portion size, feed your people, done. Always family-friendly meals, always delicious desserts inside of the Kelly Counts Macros Clubhouse monthly membership. But before we get into today's episode, I want to read you a 5-star review of the podcast. It's titled, So Glad I Found Her. K Sue 59. I've been on a journey to eat right for many, many years, trying different ways of eating, not really understanding what my hunger cues were. That's when Kelly Counts Macros comes in. I love to listen to her podcast when I walk. She has taught me about macros for all situations and helps me stay on track. Thank you, Kelly. No, thank you, KSU59. I get it. You have tried all the things and finally found what works. Listening to your hunger cues is a game changer and what we laser focus on during the shred and inside of the monthly Clubhouse membership. So thank you for this review. By providing a review, it helps me help more people. I'm going to be honest, some of you may be sitting back, feeling sorry for yourself and thinking that dieting has to be awful and you can't wait until the diet is over. You're trying these competitions or perhaps fad diets, only that leads to binge and you're gaining all of the weight back. I know you want something sustainable and you're thinking and hoping that this fall season will be different. This school year will be different, yet not making a change because you are feeling stuck. So let's go over some tips and rewiring of the brain that needs to happen in our game changers. So you can have it all, just not all at once. First, hunger is normal when you're in a cut. It is not an emergency. Sometimes we feel that when we're hungry, we need to eat something right away, but it's just not an emergency. If you are frugal and spend your calories from your macro budget on items that help with satiety, this will mitigate your hunger and you'll be feeling better. This means focusing on volume filling foods and ensuring you get your protein in. If you are frugal with your macro budget and spend your calories wisely, you will not be as hungry. So, like the title of this episode is, you can have it all, just not all at once. And of course, I got this from my husband, as I shared already. He told me about this, he said this to me about the purchases I make with our money. Sometimes I'll say to him, for instance, we built our house 15 years ago, and now things are starting to go. Either they break or I want the house to look different. I want new furniture. I want new paint on the walls. I want just a new vibe in the house. And I want all these things at once. So he says to me, Kelly, you can have it all, just not all at once. And this is how I feel people should think when they're in a cut. You can have it all. You just can't have everything you want all at once. So it's a compromise, and spending, I'm using my air quotes, spending your macro budget wisely is what you need to work on. So if you spend 500 calories on a white chocolate mocha frappuccino at Starbucks, you will be left hungry and possibly going broke in your macro bank account. Perhaps your real bank account will be suffering as well. So in the clubhouse, we have Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, and Tim Hortons cheat sheets on what would be a better option. 2, snacking less and eat larger meals. This made a massive difference for me when I started eating larger meals instead of trying to snack all day long. For some reason, you become hyper-focused. Nothing ever satisfies you. You feel like you're constantly thinking about the next snack. And once you eat a snack, it can be a gateway to overeating. It's easy to open up a bag of chips, say, I'll just have a few, I'll just have a little snack, and then you want more. That can make you mad. Having little snacks can lead to more snacks. And before you know it, you are over your calorie allotment and nothing satisfies you, and you're mad. So let's talk a little bit about compromise. I'll give some examples. When I'm in a cut, as most of you know that have followed me for a while, I usually cut one time a year. It's usually in the spring. So let's say we're having burgers on the grill at home. I think to myself, would I rather have a bun or fries? And you can have one or the other. Maybe you do have the bun, but then you have veggies instead of fries. Or go without the bun, use the lettuce wrap, and enjoy the fries. You're not giving up or depriving yourself. You're just compromising and making a choice. Another example, let's say Ron and I go out to a Mexican restaurant for dinner. Of course, they always have the chips and salsa. So the question I would ask myself is, do I want the chips and salsa, or do I want the tortillas with my meal? Or vice versa. Do I want the tortillas and forgo the chips and salsa? It's like, would you rather have this or that? You're compromising, not depriving yourself. Do you want the bun or the fries? Do you want the tortillas or the chips? With that being said, next up is to limit eating out. I like to call this being tight and right when you can. Limiting eating out will definitely help. It's always a guesstimate when you eat out. Even if you go to Chipotle and look at the nutrition facts online and get a burrito bowl, there's definitely nobody back there in the kitchen weighing or measuring. They don't have a scale out. It's all going to be an estimate. So be precise when you can. I like to keep it tight and right, but then limit eating out. I'm going to be honest, unless we're traveling for sports, and a lot of times when we do travel for sports, I pack my food anyway. I don't eat out that often. I enjoy meals out at local restaurants, locally owned with fresh ingredients and that is my priority. I don't feel the need to blow through McDonald's when my kids need to get to practice. So perhaps something you can incorporate into your life this week, a small tweak that will make a shocking difference if you keep up with it. If you eat out for lunch every single day for work, cut that back to 2 or 3 times a week. If you were eating out 5 times over the weekend, cut that back to 2 times per week. On a normal week, I'd say at the most, I only eat out once a week, if that, but that's just what I prefer. It would be a great goal for some people to not eat out for lunch every single day of the week. Perhaps they work in the corporate world and that's what they've been doing. So packing your lunch would be a great compromise. The next compromise I want to talk about is limiting your alcohol intake. You can lose fat and drink alcohol. Do I believe that alcohol slows down fat loss? Yes, for some people, for sure. That's why I suggest limiting, not cutting out alcohol, but limiting. A lot of times having 1 or 2 drinks to socialize or unwind while you're sitting on your patio isn't typically the issue. The issue is that 1 drink leads to 5 drinks, leads to the drunk munchies or the drunchies, and you tend to eat more. Maybe it rolls over into the next day. You make bad food choices trying to help your hangover, or perhaps you skip exercise and miss your workout. So yes, drinking too much alcohol can lead to much slower progress. What should you try incorporate this week? A small tweak will catapult your fat loss results. Maybe you have 1 glass of wine every night. Perhaps you could limit that to just 2 or 3 nights a week. Once again, it's all about compromising, having your non-negotiables, but also not depriving yourself. A lot of times with alcohol, they are calorie-dense drink options. If we focus more on whole foods instead of empty calories, this will make a big difference. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope that this was helpful. Come into the free Facebook community group, Kelly Counts Macros with a K, and let me know, what are you going to implement this week? I would love to hear from everyone. I would also love for you to share this episode and tag me on my social media so that I can say thanks. Leaving a 5-star review of the podcast helps me help more people. Who knows, maybe you will even hear your review here. It's time to get out of your own way and out of your own head. Make yourself a priority. I can help simplify it all because I know you're busy. I know you don't have time. There's so much conflicting information out there. It's overwhelming. But that $10 coaching week link will be in the show notes. You deserve to feel better in your own skin. If you aren't already in my free Facebook community, once again, it's called Kelly Counts Macros Community, counts with a K. If you have any questions, ask in there and tag me so that you stay in the know and expedite your fat loss goals. Sign up for that $10 coaching week. That wraps up this episode of Kelly Counts Macros. Don't forget to tune in next week. Now go out, keep it simple, and remember, you're always doing better than you think you are.